Oh, let's just turn this music off because we had some problems with it last time. So, welcome. I've gone to the wrong screen there. Team Thomas Facts and Nutrition. I'm Vanessa. I'm one half of Team Thomas. As you know, Martin's turn today, but he's away with Coast Guard. So I have got a few things lined up for you. So I can't see. Oh, I've got a hello from Joe, which is fantastic. No reports that people can't hear me at the minute, so that is good. So, without further ado, let me remind you that if you are watching live, put hashtag live in the comments. If you're watching later on, hashtag replay. So now let's get going with what I've got lined up for you. So to start off with then, I just want to let you know that Woman's Own has got our Sim Rewards 2024 in. So as you know, we're in partnership with this national magazine for this year's award. So make sure you grab your copy. Okay, looks like I've got to get rid of my banner so that you can see the full presentation. Okay, so I'm going to be talking about supercharging your weight loss success. So, oh no, Joe's saying the music's still loud. Okay. Oh no. I don't know what's happened there. Is it still playing now? Hopefully not. Or if I move. Jackie's asked a question. Why do I crave food when I am tired? Well, lots of the time, it's not playing now. Fantastic. Okay, so when you're tired, often our body can misinterpret signals. So we get those cross wires of, if you remember, I've spoken before that when you're hungry, you should have a drink, because often our body feels that we're hungry, but in fact it's thirst. And the same type of thing can actually happen when you're tired as well. It's kind of a natural instinct. If you think of bears that hibernate, and I'm not saying, Jackie, that you're a bear at all, other than a mama bear, which is kind of cool. It's kind of that hibernation mode, so that when you're tired, your body feels that you need to stock up on food to last for the sleep. So it's not a real thing, because, you know, in reality, you're not going to starve from having 6 to 8 hours sleep, but it's just kind of a reflex. And often our thought process can go a little haywire as well. You're saying you'd like to hibernate. Me too. So let's see if I can help get your motivation up, because keeping motivated for your weight loss can obviously help when you're tired as well. But it's also like keeping fuel in your car. You don't need a full tank, just don't run empty. So I've got some tips to help boost your willpower and help keep you on track. It's normal for your motivation to dip. So let me share some tactics to help realign with your goal, because weight loss is more than a physical change. It's a journey. It's a life-changing journey. So whether you've got a little bit to lose, or whether you're trying to have a transformation, the challenge is still real, but the true battle is actually in your mind. Your mindset, your beliefs, your attitudes are not only key to losing weight, but also the secret of keeping it off. So let's tackle this together. So the first one is creating a plan. Now, I've often talked about SMART goals, and you're probably starting to remember them in your sleep, but it really is important creating that plan, it just helps bring your goals to life. Write down exactly how much weight you want to lose, and your reasons behind it, because a goal without a plan is just a wish. So make sure you know exactly why you're doing this. I just got to take a sip of water. It's not enough to say, I want to lose weight. How much do you want to lose? By when? What for? All of these things can really help keep it to the front of your mind. And this is why I'm saying to be specific, if I can say it. Once you know exactly what you want to achieve, what your deadline is, you can then work backwards and create like a monthly plan of action. Setting specific goals and the healthy habits that you want to establish. But it is also important to be really realistic. We tend to sabotage ourselves by setting goals that are too ambitious. If you're going to say, I want to lose 2 stone in a week, the only thing that I can think of to do that is to lop a leg off, and that's not nice. It's not a real thing, is it? So make sure you're actually focusing on something that you can achieve. And along the way, make sure you are celebrating the small wins, because they all add up. I'm talking about when you put those trousers on that were too tight and you've just done them up without thinking about it. You haven't had to breathe in, you haven't had to lay down on the bed, they've just done up. Now, that may be a small win, but in the grand scheme of things, that is absolutely huge, and it deserves celebration. Now, when I talk about celebration, I'm not saying, hey, I've dropped a dress size, this is time to go out for a Chinese, because that is, just putting you further back in your journey. Yes, there will be celebrations along the way that involve food, but why not think of something that doesn't? Think of a different way to motivate yourself via celebration, and I will come to that in a bit. So keep these comments going. Is what I'm saying resonating with you? Can you think of anything else that you want to add? That'd be fantastic. Just keep the comments coming. Okay, the next one is mindful eating. So I'm not talking about meditation whilst you're eating, although I suppose that would slow you down, technically. I'm talking about really understanding the cravings and the triggers, like Jackie said earlier about being tired and it makes you hungry. That is potentially a trigger for emotional eating. So take a moment to reflect on why you're feeling like you're feeling. Is there a particular event that is making you feel a certain way? It's often stress. That's the main one that I find, or it can be a time of the day. So the next thing is to think about developing a support system. So it's sharing your journey with friends, family, or a diet coach. Because sometimes talking to someone who gets what you're going through can make all the difference. I'm not saying you have to tell everyone what you weigh, because let's face it, dieting is a personal nature, or weight loss as such anyway. Because the word diet itself isn't a dirty word. Diet is what you're eating. So we're talking about the actual journey itself. And yes, it's fine to be private about it, but there's no reason not to tell others that you're doing something that is important to you. And obviously, I'm here too. So, plan, blah, blah, plan and prepare. So avoid self-sabotage by planning your meals and snacks ahead of time. Keep your kitchen stocked with healthy options to minimize temptation. And of course, track your progress. So keep your food diary or use a diet tracking app like our one-to-one app, for example, because I don't know about you, but seeing that graph where the weight loss is going down can really help keep my motivation up. And then practice self compassion, because setbacks happen to us all. Don't be so hard on yourself. Going back to the car analogy, if you get a flat tire, you don't go round and slash the other three. You simply change that tire and carry on with the journey. So, you know, perhaps avoid the nails next time that might have punctured your tire. And it's just learning from experience. And again, that's where seeking professional help comes from, because if self-sabotage keeps happening, talk to me. I can offer tailored advice, accountability and support to help keep you going. So what about cultivating those healthy habits? Now, instead of just focusing on the scales, think about the long-term habits that will boost your overall well-being. So what small action can you consistently take that will make the biggest difference? So is it like putting your trainers by the door to remind yourself when you've come home from work that you need to go for a walk? Could it be, for example, making sure that you've always got your products lined up so you know what you're going to have the next day, so you don't have that sudden panic of, oh my God, what am I going to eat? Maybe it's that you need something to aim for in particular. Maybe you haven't got that wedding or the holiday coming up. What about joining a challenge or a charity fundraiser? We talk about Kev with his Couch to 5K. That is such a fantastic motivator. What's going to help you? I've got plenty of challenges if you don't have one in mind, but there are so many different weight loss activities, or even just healthy routine challenges that might help you get in step. I know my sister does the park runs. She walks it, but it's still activity. And it's a great thing to go out with other people and have a bit of fun, have a chat. You might be raising money for charity, or it might just to help keep you accountable because it's something you're going to take part in regularly. So going back to the comments here, Jackie says that she always tries to call it a healthy eating regime rather than a diet. Absolutely. And it is about changing the mindset. It's about changing the way that you talk to yourself as well. Why do we have so much negative self-talk and self-sabotage when in reality, if we had a friend going through the same thing, we wouldn't talk to them in the same way, would we? So just bear with me. My mouth's gone really dry today. Yeah, I've been drinking loads of water. Okay, so the next one is writing a top 10 list. So we talked about our whys, but let's talk about 10 honest reasons why you want to lose weight forever. Because we're not just talking about a short-term healthy eating regime, as Jackie's called it. We're talking about long-term habits to fuel your long-term maintenance, because let's face it, we don't want to eternally be double guessing ourselves. We want to be at maintenance, and we want to have a substantial lifestyle shift in order to get there. So set a daily timer to review your list. What is it that's going to keep you focused? Going back to a previous point, Joe's saying that she sets the products out the night before so she doesn't have to rush around the next day. Fantastic. That is absolutely what we're talking about. We're talking about keeping up those habits that are going to help you long term. And then going back to Jackie's point again earlier, making a list of what triggers your unhealthier habits. Is it that Friday night takeaway or late night binge watching? Because knowing those triggers is the first step to beating them. So I know particularly that Martin's been talking to you about the struggles that he's been facing. And it has been that routine of after a gig when he's hungry, when he's tired, he's, been dancing all night, singing about stage. And, he does get in those habits of then going to the takeaway afterwards. So knowing those triggers, it's having something prepared. He's been most successful on plan when he's had something ready to come back to. So when he's cooked earlier in the day, so that he knows, don't order takeaway because such and such is in the fridge and it's waiting for me just to reheat it. Okay, I talked about motivation in a different way. So, what about creating a reward jar? So, whether it's £1 for every pound, whether it's just putting some money in a jar whenever you feel good. But when that jar gets full, go out and treat yourself something nice. Maybe draw a line on the jar that's your target. So when it gets to that point, go and get something that's not food related. Joe's saying that boredom at work and being overwhelmed at work, her comfort eating triggers. So, okay, you know that such and such is a work day. What can you come home to? What can you have prepared already in the fridge so that when you're feeling meh, shall we say, you've got something prepared. Now, Joe, I know specifically that you have a number of favourite recipes. So, what about getting them ready, having them in the fridge ready so that when you come home and you want something nice, you have it there? You're saying here that Martin's recipes are great for batch cooking and freezing. So, absolutely, that being overwhelmed at work is one of your triggers. You know that batch cooking works for you. So, make sure you've always got something in the freezer. And then boredom at work, it's about being prepared. So, what are you going to take to work? And that leads me on to the next slide brilliantly. So thank you. Get rid of those tempting snacks. Stock up on healthy options. Make sure that your freezer is full of something that is going to suit your needs. And then create a library of links. So go on your phone, have a little social media scroll, find some meal planning ideas. Don't forget, we've got our Facebook group for our slimmers as well, which is packed full of recipes for the different steps. Perhaps it's setting a reminder for yourself to make sure you watch Diet Decoder every week. Maybe. I don't know. But, when you're feeling a bit of a dip, or I don't know what to eat, I want to try something different, you've then got some saved ideas to go and try. Get yourself into the kitchen and try and do something different. So that's another idea too. And then Joe's saying that fruit and nut bars and caramel bites are my snack of choice. Mine too. The strawberry and apple bar has absolutely snuck there. I was an absolute sight. Wednesday, I think, the sun was shining, and I was talking to Martin as he was cleaning the van, and it melted all over me, and I was licking the packaging, I was licking my fingers, it was all over my face even, but I enjoyed it. So yeah. So okay, the next one is having a water plan. So I have my bottle of water in front of me. I have my cup earlier from when I had my chicken noodle soup, and I've obviously not washed it up yet. But invest in a big water bottle that's easy to carry around. Now, a lot of the water bottles that you can get have, where's the camera, this way, they have markers down there, because staying hydrated not only boosts your energies but also can help with those cravings. Jackie there saying that the fruit and nut bars are your favourite. Well, mine were always chocolate orange and they'd salted caramel bites, but now I really find that I am heading towards strawberry and apple bars. Okay, I've got two more and then we're going to talk food. So the next one is about getting creative and finding a fun activity that you can do with friends for that extra social boost. So you're more likely to stick to an activity where there are other people to help keep you accountable. So think club exercise. Or clubbercise, I think it's called. It's a great way of meeting friends, dancing, exercising. Look out for a class that's local to you, or if you're not ready for a group experience, create a playlist and dance like no one is watching. And then the last one is to start snapping some photos to track your progress. It's absolutely incredible to see how far you've come. I really wish I'd taken more photos at the beginning of my journey so that I could do some sort of slideshow to like pep myself up when I'm feeling a bit meh. That seems to be my favourite word today. So these snapshots are visual proof of your hard work and determination. So use them. Make sure you've got that catalogue there for you. Now, bear with me because I only have 5 minutes left. So I'm going to say eggs. Did you know that eggs contain over a dozen essential nutrients and they're really good for your brain and really great for step 2 and above? So we're talking about having handy things on offer when you're hungry. So what about egg bites? So you can try different combinations and the sky is absolutely the limit. So I want to see in the comments whether you're live or on replay. All you need is a muffin tin or something silicone. Generally, I do about 10 eggs and then I do half a teaspoon of salt, half a teaspoon of pepper because I'm not that keen on them. Whisk it up and then you can add whatever you like. So whether it's chopped ham, peppers, onion, cheese, spinach and cheese, jalapenos, bacon and cheese, broccoli and cheese. I seem to have a thing about cheese. What else can we put? Pop them in the comments because all you've got to do is bake them in the oven for about 25 minutes. I generally say 170 degrees. Just watch for your eggs to set. And then you can store them in the fridge all week and they also freeze well. And then to reheat them, you just got to stick them in the microwave for 30 seconds. 2 large eggs are 180 calories. So then you've only got to calculate your fillings. So check your steps book. We have got in here, if you're on step 2, you've got all of your vegetables. So 80 grams of vegetables is approximately 20 calories. So, what about mushrooms? What about courgette? What about, I said peppers, spinach, cherry tomatoes, maybe? I don't know. I want to see these comments filling up. Frozen mixed veg and defrosted tuna. Okay, I'm not a tuna fan myself, but what does everyone else think? Would you have tuna and egg bite? Could work. But yeah, let's keep those ideas going. Oh, that's the wrong slide, sorry. So egg bites, they could be something just to keep you going. So I'm now at the end of my half an hour. I will be seeing you next week as well. And I've shared 20 ideas already, and I've got loads more for next week as well. Did I say 10 eggs for the recipe? Yes. Basically, 10 eggs fills my muffin tin. So plus, whatever I'm going to put in it. And I was saying for me, 10 eggs to me is half a teaspoon of salt and half a teaspoon of pepper. But obviously, you want to season them to taste. And you can obviously add any of your herbs and spices as well. But it depends on the size of your muffin tin. So if you've got a smaller muffin tin, then you're not going to use 10 eggs. But as I said, 2 eggs are 180 calories. So you could just make it for what you want at the time. You don't have to make a big batch. But obviously then you've got to calculate how many eggs in the recipe, how many bites has that made up, and then divide that to work out what you need. Fantastic. Chicken and sweet corn's another one coming. Fantastic. So it is 8:30. I'm going to leave you now. I would love these comments to keep coming in. For anyone that's on replay, or if you want to check back later and see if there's any more ideas. But more importantly, I want to see your eggs pictures in the comments. I want to see photos on our page. If you're in our recipe group, I would love to see what it is that you've made. Keep them coming, and I will see you next week.